to develop patience. They have to build a game that can beat the other best players in the world who are playing in those cash games with them.
Well, let's get back to the action. The blind still 400 and 800 with a $100 ante. Action folding over to Eli Elezra, who will raise it up to 1,600.
Well, he's continuing his aggressive play with less than stellar cards. Patrick, another player, is willing to get his chips in there with marginal hands. 5-4 suited, calling the small raise from Elezra.
Action folding now to Chris Ferguson.
Well, he's going to toss that King-7 offsuit. Hansen with a nice, moderately strong hand. He's certainly going to at least call with this pair of eights. And yes, he just does call. 3 to the flop. Hansen in great shape here. More than 50-50 to win this pot, three-handed.
And here is the flop, 10-9-3. And Elezra has drawn out, pairing his 9.
Well, not the flop Gus was looking for, and he checks. And we're all checked around.
So the turn is a 4 of clubs.
Well, Gus is going to fire with his eights. He probably thinks he has the best hand here.
Hansen bet 3,300.
Elezra almost calls, but now he raises 5,000. That was kind of a balk. In baseball, we'd be advancing the runner.
So it was 8,300 to Antonius, who folded.
Instead, in poker, I think Hansen will be advancing his cards into the muck.
You're the only one can always look at my card. What's that? I don't let John know.
So Ellie takes a nice $17,000 pot, just a pittance, though, to these guys. With so much cash on the table, we thought we'd ask the question, what's the most money you've ever won in a single cash game?
Good question. Well, I think maybe 120,000.
I think I won about 100,000 last time I played. I've won 80 before.
It's the biggest winning I ever made. It was in 2-4,000 game right after I got done shooting high-stakes poker. I won 287,000 in 4 hours.
The biggest I ever win in 1 second in cash game is 200 big bet.
My biggest win was over $1.6 million.
I think my lawyer told me not to say.
Well, towards the end of last year, I won $5 million in one night, which was pretty good. Feels very nice, obviously.
I think 70,000. I remember that very easily because the losses hurt so much more.
I lost 182,000 playing live, playing 3 days straight.
You know, I lost in my life several times over 500,000. I lost, the biggest loss I have is over $1 million 60.
And the biggest losing day I had 1.2 million. And that was took almost 2 days basically playing straight.
You go home and you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself on the mirror or the car. Why did I do it, you know?
Of course you feel like after losing.
Obviously, you're going to have big winning days, you're going to have big losing days. And as long as there's more pluses than minuses and at the bottom line, I think I'll be okay.
I would imagine, Howard, the best thing in poker is just to forget.
You have to move on from your big losses, and you have to move on from your big wins. Poker's about keeping an even keel and just playing well day in, day out.
I'm losing. I'm playing tight. I'm waiting for my rush.
Well, Elezra has straddled here, so first action to Antonius.
Right, and again, that means that Elezra's put double the big blind in, 1,600 blind, but he is live.
Antonius folds, now Jedlicka.
56.
We'll make it 5,600 to go.
Solid hand, 2 10s.
Fold around now to Chris Ferguson. He folds. Hansen will fold. And Jawanda.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's the kind of hand you want when you put the live straddle on it. He's grabbed 4 $5,000 chips. He makes a 21-6. It's going to be tough for Jedlicka to lay this down. He's seen Ellie play so many hands.
And he does make the call, so 2 players to the flop.
Of course, this is the spot where if he does catch a 10, he is going to bust Elezra.
Ace, 8-5, all spades.
Great flop for Jedlicka. He's up to 42% in this hand. This is going to kill the action. He's not going to face a big bet. It goes check, check.
And a 9 of clubs on the turn. No help.
15.
Ellie is going to defend his hand. He bets a third of the pot, 15,000. Just hoping that Jedlicka is going to go away here. But again, Nicky has seen Eliezer play so many hands with not the best of cards. Maybe tough for him to get away. He's getting over 4-1. He does call 15,000 more on the turn.
3 of clubs on the river.
No help. He needed a spade or a 10.
And Eliezer, counting it out again, puts another 15,000 in.
Well, that's an awfully sneaky bet. You can see Jedlicka giggling here. It's awfully hard to lay it down, getting such a big price here. 6-1. And he's got 2 10s. So Eliezer either has to have a flush or an ace. He knows Ellie's capable of anything here.
Whatever. King.
Yeah, he pays it off.
And with that, Eliezer will take down 105,100, the biggest pot of the day.
Lovely flop.
Eliezer being sarcastic there. 3 babies on the flop, and he might have doubled up.
See what's happened when you straddle? You get the king in the hand, right?
Well, Ellie Eliezer getting a little revenge on young Nicky Jedlicka. More from the Aussie Millions Cash Game Invitational when we come back. Game Invitational. Well, this week began with the pros and the online qualifiers being treated to an entertaining, welcoming party here at the Crown Melbourne, where everyone got a taste of local flavor and the Australian wildlife.
What's his name? Tiger. Tiger. Hello, Tiger. He's hanging out with Mikey. He knows where all the cool people are. He knows he's not hanging out with nobody else but me.
Must be the lettuce he has under his shirt.
Either that or that lizard recognizes a soft game when he sees one.
Well, no soft game for Ellie Eliezer. He and John Joanda, the only 2 players in the black. Last year's winner, Patrick Antonius, as you see, bringing up the rear right now.
Well, certainly not a lot of blood has been spilt yet.
Action will start on Tony G this hand. Kagawa is straddling. Action folding around to Ellie Eliezer. Queen deuce, and he'll raise to 4,200.
Well, he is making a button raise. Trying to isolate against the amateur Kagawa. He has position, but not much of a hand. Queen deuce offsuit.
Kagawa jack 8.
Well, he's probably going to call. Just defending against the button raise.
Yes. 42.
He does.
He does call. Eliezer actually finds himself in position with the best hand. Not that the queen deuce will play very well after the flop, but being in position is going to help him.
So 2 to the flop, 10, 8, 5 on the flop, 2 spades. Kagawa with middle pair.
We'd expect Kagawa to check. He does check, and we would expect Eliezer to try and pick this pot up.
And he will bet 4,400.
Well, we know Masa is going to at least call. Might want to raise here to find out where he's at. Well, he's counting out the call. No, it looks like he's just going to call. Well, Eliezer's in big trouble. He needs a queen here.